happens later on. Pretty interesting first map for this, I think. It could be, I think, quite a quick game if both teams decide to go for the tomb. If one of the teams is deciding to try to hang back and play it a bit more defensive, we could see it go a lot slower, but we're going to have to see which team wants to commit, trying to take that tomb, and it looks like it's going to be this Rogue Priest Shaman team moving in. We have the Rogue from the Rogue Priest Shaman team moving all the way and gets a sap onto Goku-san, onto the mage. So we're going to see what they have to do to open up here. There's a sap on the Shadow Priest as well, so both teams just going to kind of content to sit back and just re-sap, just try to slow down this damage and see if they can get a good opener. But Flyn does get a Nova onto the Rogue, onto Avina, and he's going to get danced on right away. He's taking a lot of damage here. There is a deep freeze onto the Shadow Priest, stopping some of the damage, and so much damage coming in on Lelo, this Rogue here.
Yep. He is using that Vanish to get open on that Rogue, it seems, but he does get broke. Yeah, the Vanish breaks, and he's just gonna have to kill that Rogue instead. Still taking a lot of damage over this mage, spamming those throws put into, and he lands a full poly onto the priest, it seems. Yep, he does, so he's gonna be able to the priest won't be able to do any damage right here.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them both playing Orc, trying to reduce those stuns. I think is a pretty good choice in this. But Lelo just taking so much damage here. He doesn't want to use that. Wow, he just gets a nice kidney, though. He's turning around a lot of the damage. There is a sheep onto the priest, a blind as well. They're just trying to really CC this priest, it looks like, keep him out of the game. Sheep now onto the shaman. He does have to trinket that, throws down his grounding totem, trying to get some heals out on Lelo. He could be in pretty big trouble here. He's down to 17% HP, catches a shield from that priest and vanishes off, making sure it won't break. So really nice job from the priest there, but it looks like now the pressure is just going to be right on the Shadow Priest, taking quite a bit of damage. And he's already pretty low on mana. He's getting burned. He's getting burned a lot. He has to actually silence a burn, and the priest just gets out of that. And look, he's just spamming mana burn on him. He's down to 3,000 mana. He could be in a lot of trouble, but they're going to go hard on the priest from this RMP. Paint's up used immediately. He's down at 60% HP. Shadow Fiend is used on him as well. Priest trying to get that pressure going and get some mana back here. And a full kidney now onto this priest from the RMP. He's getting peeled pretty well for, there's a disarm onto Lelo. He gets a cheap shot as well. And the Lust is dispelled off of that Rogue, so a lot less damage going to be coming up from him. A full sheep onto this priest. His Lust is going to be expiring pretty soon, so they're doing a pretty good job of surviving through that. PS was used, though, from the priest, and no trinket, so they could keep going on this RMP's priest, and he's now caught into a fear. Well, looks like they're just going to keep the damage onto Lelo for now. There was a sheep onto the shaman from the RPS, but not much happened with that. Avina, though, taking a lot of damage here. He's down to 50% HP. There's an Aura Mastery, Inner Focus pop from the priest on the RMP, trying to top up his Rogue, and both Rogues are really just kind of content to sit on each other, it looks like, trying to get a lot of damage. Lelo in so much trouble, though, now. He's into a stun. He cloaked at 10% HP. He's going to be able to pick back up, though. Still taking so much damage. He gets a nice gouge onto the Rogue, trying to deny some of that damage, but Shaman needs to get some heals on him. He's at 40% HP, getting picked back up to 60. There's a silence coming out onto the priest, trying to do some damage onto Avina, this Rogue from the RMP, but really not much success there. And here comes a Shadow Step Kidney back onto Lelo. He's down 50% HP. He has no trinket, no cloak. He's in a cheap shot off of that, but the Shaman's able to get some good heals there, keeping him pretty topped off. But a nice fear hitting both the Rogue and the Shaman, and I don't believe there's a Tremor down for that.
Yep, and it seems like Avina's going to try to get a result, but does get denied from the Shadow Priest already, so it's going to go straight back on that Rogue. We're going to see a bit of Rogue on Rogue fight right here. And there is Shadows of Kinney, was it? Yeah, Shadows of Kinney onto that Lelo Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, the Rogue Shaman Shadow Priest, they're holding their own here, doing a pretty good job. There's a deep freeze into a sheep onto that priest, denying the Shadow Road death, so he's not able to do anything about that. But Lelo is just going to kite away. Really good job getting that snare onto Avina and just running away. But Avina might get a re-stealth here. Yeah, he does. He gets the shield. He's into a stealth. There's a Phantom Knives. It does not land, though. And they're going to go hard on the Shaman now. Shaman into a cheap shot, kidney out of that. Could be in trouble here. Flyn's coming over. He's going to poly off this Rogue, try to get some damage out. But, the fear on that Shaman on his heel, interrupting it. He's at 60% HP. He does have his trinket, but he's at 30% HP now. He gets blinded. Wow, the blind was broken. I'm not sure about that. I guess that was a bit of miscommunication, maybe a missed target. But he's able to get away out of that blind now. Try to get some heals off here. He does get cheap shotted onto that lesser healing wave. He still has his trinket. There's a full kidney, though. Maybe he's going to need to use it, but looks like the mage isn't able to get any damage, so he's just going to sit it, and a Divine Hymn coming in from the priest. Really nice defensive play from him. And the priest from the RMPA is taking this time while they have this pressure. He got a couple thousand mana back from the drinks.
Yep, the Rogue was actually using his Dancer, so he doesn't have a dance for another minute. So the RPS team should be in a pretty good shape, and we do see a PS coming onto that Rogue from the team with RMP. So he's going to be fine for now. And he lands another kin on the Shaman right now.
Shaman taking a lot of damage, and you know he's the priest is going for our burns once again on the Shadow Priest. You know, the RMP priest is just trying to spam burns, keep that Shadow Priest out of the game. He has to dispersion just for mana, so he won't have that if they want to go onto him. And the Shaman is taking a lot of damage now, and the RMP's priest once again just content to sit back and drink. Because they have a bit of a mana advantage right now. You know, the Shaman's at 5,000 mana, Shadow Priest at 5,000 mana, the RMP's priest sitting about 7k. So doing pretty well for himself, but a silence onto the Disc Priest, and Avina's taking a lot of damage down about half HP. He's gonna pop his dance though, try to turn some damage around onto Lelo. The Shaman already has his Earth Shield up though, so he's ready for that. Both the rogues sitting about 60% HP right now. Damage is pretty even on both sides, and the Shaman here going for a big drink. They really need to stop this. You know, his mana has been a problem the whole game, and he's getting some mana back here while his team's going offensive. He got about 2k back, so not a bad job by him. Looks like he's going to go for that sheep. Yep. He got deep freeze onto the Shadow Priest, going to the sheep, but it was shocked by the Shaman, so good job. And now look at this mana on this Disc Priest. He's and Avina's in a lot of trouble. He's down to 20% HP. There's the cloak. He's gonna have to try to kite away, let his Disc Priest get some mana back. He's running into the entrance. He's trying to go for a drink, but the Shadow Priest comes in, and they fear each other, both exchanging wills. But Avina's in so much trouble. Damage even coming in from the Shaman, and a sap onto Flyn on the other side of the map. He's not gonna get any peels. There's a cheat death. He's at 3% HP. Shield comes in, but he has no mana. He can't top him up. 1% HP and goes down.
And if he doesn't want to go for those mana burns, he might as well go for more MP5 and keep that mana up instead.
Yep, definitely. Haste is not as big a deal. You know, you have borrowed time with those shields. The rogues did just walk through each other. Are they going to get sapped? Looks like neither of them see each other. They're basically standing on each other, though. They're walking through each other now. Still don't see each other. Wow, I can't believe neither of them sapped the other one there. Vina looking like he wants to get a sap onto the Shadow Priest, but he's in combat, and the rogue once again gets Nova'd out. So really nice shot by Marmalade there. And now they're just going to open right up onto Lelo. He does get that Earth Shield up in time, though. So he's going to prevent a lot of the damage coming in. The Shaman's just pre-healing this really well, keeping his team topped up. Nice shock on the mana burn from this Disc Priest. And Disc Priest, I guess, disagrees with us. He thinks mana burn's still the way to go. He looks like he just wants to spam those burns. He actually does go for a Mind Control now, getting a Mind Control off, but I believe it was trinketed. Yeah, he was trinketed and feared off, so interesting choice by the Shadow Priest there. And now it looks like our Shadow Priest is going to be stuck into a full blind because of that, and his Shaman could be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. Without those shields and the defensive dispels, he might be in trouble.
Yep, he does get around that pillar though. Looks like he's going to get this healing wave off. Yep, he does, and he's topped back up quite quickly. There is a sheep onto the priest. He's been out of the game for so long after that trinket. And he got blinded into a full sheep. He's coming back now. He knows that they're going to need some help. The Shaman did have to trinket during that, and so did the rogue. So no trinkets on this rogue priest Shaman, and both the priest and the rogue have trinkets for this RMP. So that could be a pretty big deal. Lelo's just trying to get away. A nice early mana tide coming out of the Shaman, trying to make sure his mana still stays pretty high. The rogue is taking a ton of damage. Nice grounding on that shatter, but still 30% HP on the rogue. Divine him coming up from the priest, trying to help him stay alive. He pops around, gets a shield on him because the Shaman was into a sheep, but he did break it with the Nova accidentally. That's way too bad. He does get a deep freeze into a triple fear, so no tremor coming out of his team, and Lelo looks like he could be in a lot of trouble.
Yep, definitely. I think Flynn might have just hit that kick on the Shaman. Seems like it did, and the Shaman's not casting. So it's a great kick from Flynn on the Shaman. He's going to be able to cast now again, though, and he's going to be able to pick that rogue up again.
Yeah, the Shadow Priest doing a good job helping out there on that interrupt. You know, he's calling it out. Shadow Priest starts, oh wow, gets a sap on the rogue as he falls out of combat. They're going to open hard onto the Shaman. Nice job by Flynn recognizing he was going for the re-stealth, getting it first, sapping out that other rogue, and tons of damage coming in on the Shaman now. Their Shadow Priest is going to have to play pretty defensive here, try to throw him out some shields because he's down 30%. You can see those Envenoms coming out. He's taking so much damage, trying to fake the kick. There's a stun onto Vina now, so he's going to be able to free cast. He's still at 30% HP though. There's the CS. He did fake it, I believe, but we'll have to see. Yep, he did fake it. He has to fake the rogue kick now though, and there's a pain suppression on Avina, allowing him to stay offensive. Looks like a full kidney onto the Shaman. There's a holy fire coming in. Marmalade popping around trying to get some more damage in, but good job from the Shadow Priest picking his team back up.
Yeah, well, there's a full blind onto Flynn right now. He's gonna have to sit this because it doesn't have a trinket. The Shadow Priest into a full poly though, so
yeah,
so much going on right now.
Nope, not much at all. Shadow Priest is once again. He's 600 mana, so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to get his mana back here. Maybe you're going to have to use that Disperse defensively. Shadow Priest was going, or the Disc Priest was going for burns, and Lelo is in a lot of trouble here now. He's at 30% HP, has to cloak already. Shadow Priest isn't going to be much help. He does pop his Fiend trying to get back some of that mana, but he had to shrink that poly. try to keep his team top back up. And, Lelo, okay, nice job. He popped that dance defensively, seeing the rogue coming around for a kidney. Gets a stun onto Flyn when there's a full sheep on a shaman, but he still might go down. The shaman still hasn't trinketed, though, and he's just sitting there anyway. There's the trinket as the sheep ends. He gets re-sheeped.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Into a full deeper there. See if they can follow this up with anything. I don't think they have anything left, though. This NS onto the rogue, which crits, and he's fine.
Yeah. That was a little bit greedy trying to hold that PvP trinket. He ended up coming back to fight him, costing him the NS. I think had he just trinket that right away, he would have been able to save the NS, lose that that trinket still, but he'd have one cooldown left because now he could be in trouble next time they go on him. He has no trinket, he has no NS. If they're able to get a swap on him, maybe with no Earth Shield out of fear, it looks like that's what they want to do. He has no Earth Shield, but he does get it up really quickly. There's a blind on the rogue, a sheep on the priest. There's gonna be no help for these guys right here. He's down to 40% HP. That Earth Shield is saving him so far, but he just gets shattered. He's at 20% HP. He's corroded. He's trying to go so away. He really needs a lot of help here. There is a deep freeze coming out of the mage, but look at the mage. He's too. He's at 500 mana. He's gonna have to maybe try to get it out of there in Evo. A nice death from the Shadow Priest on that poly though, and yeah, it looks like he's gonna try to run away maybe into this entrance, try to get some mana back, and it looks like it could be a good idea for the Shadow Priest to just chase this mage, not let him get the Evo.
Yeah, definitely. The Shadow Priest has so many ways of getting his mana back. So does the mage though. He's used a gem though, so he's back at 5k mana. So he doesn't have to use his Evo just yet if you don't want to.
Yeah, he's going to be okay for now. Mana is an issue all over in this game, though. The Disc Priest has amazing mana, 19k right now, but Kebab is caught into that mind control. He does have his Charmer down, so it does break. There's the Lust coming out for the damage on Avina. Avina's so low. He's taking so much damage. Lelo actually throws a blind onto Flyn, onto that rogue, and maybe you're going to try to just reset out of that. I'm not quite sure. Looks like once again this Disc Priest is going for the burns, content to keep that mana low. Shadow Priest at 100 mana, and there's the Disperse defensively. The Shaman's going for a drink, and I think that was a pretty bad Lust, They really didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like the priest is using more MP5 grades, keeping an incredible mana. And his mana burns aren't as quick anymore, so yeah, this is the PI burns. He gets shocked, so...
Yep, so, nice shock. But he is into a deep freeze. He's going to get lots of burns off in this kidney. The Shaman's mana is going to be pretty bad here. He has 200 mana left. He has to go to Water Shield, and that's never a good situation when you're being trained. It looks like he is going to get a drink, though. When you're going to go for those burns, you really have to watch those drinks. You can't let him just drink back up after that,
Yep.
And he's all those burns are just wasted because he did just get 6k mana back. The Shadow Priest, though, still low on mana. Lelo is in some trouble now. He does get the Earth Shield. He's probably going to be okay. This Priest has spent about 7,000 mana during this time, and the Shaman's got a little bit back, so he's just going to go for those burns once again. He gets shocked on that one, but content just come and get another. There, he just got that one burn. There was an NS Hex out on the mage, kind of weird choice, but I guess they did get the block, so they could go on to him.
Yeah. Well, we do see this priest is keeping an incredible mana. I do agree with that. They can't let the shaman drink after burning him. He was down to 400 mana, so if they wouldn't have let him drink up 6k mana, the game might have even been over now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think when you commit to going for those burns or those mana drains, you have to make sure they're not going to get the mana back. You need to stay on top of them, stop those drinks, kill that mana tide, and really make it count. You can't be spending those globals if you're not going to do that.
Yep.
The priest and the shaman now, as you see, are even on mana, so kind of a funny circumstance of Avina Flyn on the rogue down to about 30%, 20% HP, 10% HP. Is he going to go down here? He cloaks, but he dies at the same time. It looks like they are going to stay with this RMP, so they are confident, and we're going to have to see what they will change, if they will change anything at all.
Yep. And the map's going to be ruins once again. It seems like they really want this map for some reason.
Yep. I mean, it's nice to see they're confident. Maybe they think this is the best. It's not the map, it's just the play, like we said before. So it'll be interesting to see. They did. The rogue does avoid getting popped out this time. They have a sap onto the Disc Priest. There's no sap out of the Vina just yet. He's just kind of staying back defensively, waiting for them to open. Probably just open on whatever the rogue opens on. Just try to shut down their damage. Shadow Priest has spent quite a lot of mana actually spamming those MDs, so maybe they could sap and prevent this drink. But there is a sap onto on Lelo, so this is gonna be a really good opener for the RMP. There's a Lust used instantly with the shaman in a deep freeze, or sorry, the priest into a deep freeze trinketed that poly following it up, and it looks like they just want to go hard on the shaman. He does Lust instantly, trying to get some more damage out for his teammate. Lelo is just gonna stick to Avina, just try to peel him off, allow their shaman to just top himself up. He's going for the Hex now onto onto Marmalade, but he doesn't get it. He gets defreeze on it instead, getting shattered for quite a lot here, and a lot of damage is coming out onto the Shaman, but Avina too, under so much pressure, he's going to have to get picked back up.
Yep, the Shaman, they're just gonna train the Shaman, it seems, but he's gonna get away now with that Ghost Wolf and Avina into a Kinney, which he does trinket, it seems like. But, yeah, I did trinket the Kinney.
Yeah, that Lust, was pretty good defensively, but the Mage was able to spell steal it, so he had a lot more damage coming out there. And you can see the Shaman spent quite a bit of mana. The Priest is doing a little bit better, but they're pretty even. Venus is taking so much damage, though. Lelo is pretty much PvEing into him, just having his back the entire time. And Avina is really getting low here. There's a dismantle. There's a defreeze on Lelo trying to just peel him off, and there's a blind on the Shadow Priest there. It looks like the strategy is just CC the Shadow Priest, just train the Shaman into the ground. He's at 40% HP now. There comes a Shatter. He's at 10% HP into a full kidney. He's maybe going to go down here. 10% HP, 1% HP. Is he going to die? Still at 1%, 9% HP. He's picking himself back up. Oh, he's getting penance offensively. If he gets over the ramp, he's at 2% HP. He does go down. So we are going to have to see how they open up, if there's going to be any saps on the rogue.
Yep.
Avina is kind of running into the wall.
I'm not sure if it's CCing or if he's just trying to keep away from the rogue.
Yeah. Still kind of running into the wall, so... not sure about that, but either way, both teams kind of content to sit back for now. We shall have to see if he is DC'd, in fact. But it looks like the Rogue Priest Shaman has no interest in going in anyway, so he can probably just log back in if he is in fact DC'd, but he's still online, it appears, so I don't think he is. We see some blizzards coming out from the Mage. Both teams just kind of sitting back. You can see Moby just kind of sitting against this wall here. He keeps putting up the shields on his whole team, throws a prayer of mending. The Shaman has his back to the wall, so he cannot be backstabbed as easy. So pretty good defensive formation, I guess, here from the RPS. And I have to think that Flyn is...
There is an announcement by Big Pone that Flyn DC'd and it's going to be a rematch. So everyone's leaving the arena, it seems. Alright. Too bad.
Yep, that is too bad, but thankfully, if there has to be DC, it's the best time for it to be a raid at the start of the match.
Yep.
Should not affect the outcome too much. Hopefully, we can get right back on and we can hop back into the game.
Yep, I'm gonna go right back for like 10 seconds while he's logging back in. I'll be back in a second.
Yep, so guys, I'm just going to take a moment to say that we are on the Arena Tournament realm. This is a level 80 private server. You should definitely head on over to arenatournament.com. Check that out. You can sign up there, create a free account, download the server, and hop right on, play with some of these players, play against some of these players, and see how well you can do for yourself. It is a completely... set up server. It seems to be working very, very well, and there seems to be basically no glitches or bugs that plague some of the other private servers. So definitely hop on here, check out some. If you're bored of Cataclysm, you can hop on here. You can play some Wrath Lich King. You can definitely do a lot of Arena. There's tons of great players that you can see spamming a general chat that they have very high experience in Arena, and there's all kinds of different comps you can play. There's very competitive server, so there's a lot of stuff that's already set up here. There's also these tournaments going on every so often, and there's a lot of time to gear up between now and the next tournament. So if you hop on now, you can gear up, and perhaps you can be competing next time that we are casting this tournament. So that would be pretty cool. Definitely, you should check it out. But we shall see what is going to happen in this next game. It is 2-1 in favor of the Rogue Priest Shaman. Yeah. You can also use this UI that you guys are seeing to spectate games, so that is pretty sweet. You can be spectating games, I guess, while you're on this realm, checking out some of the other players playing. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's basically GM accounts, and this user interface that they have for spectating has been very, very good. Pretty much tracks everything. I'd say it's actually better than the Blizzard UI. It's a lot easier to use. You just have to click on the frames, and you get to follow the players, make spectating a breeze, and you're able to track pretty much everything on the frames. So, really good job by these guys setting up this user interface for spectating. It's been really nice to work with, and it's been a lot of fun spectating these games so far, and they're only going to get better as we go further into the tournament.
Right, I'm back. And the game restarted. Perfect timing.
Okie dokie.
Right, seems to be Nagrin Arena again. Oh, well, that's obvious, isn't it? It's a DC.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We will just be hopping right back into that map.
Yep.
We may have a second or two delay because I believe Kuna has to AFK for a second, but we will see. Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see. You know, the Rogue Priest Shaman seemed like they had a pretty planned out little defensive formation there. You know, the Priest and Shaman on opposite pillars, but in line of sight of each other. The Rogue kind of playing in between. Basically, you can see that they just wanted to play that map very defensively and just try to shut down any opener. So it'll be interesting to see how they are able to adapt to that. If the RMP is able to try to set something up pretty well, or if that formation that they had is going to work out pretty well and allow them to stop the opener.
Yep. I like rogue mirror teams is whenever there's two rogues, it's usually interesting games, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It is pretty exciting. So we have the RMP sitting back. We have Flyn in that same spot, and he does get sapped. That is not good for the RMP. They could be purging him down. Wow, nice blizzard though from Marm. He knocks him out. That has got to suck. But there is an opener onto Avina anyway. Gets the full kidney shot. He's going to blind onto the mage, I believe. Yeah, the mage did trinket that blind. The priest is also trinketed, so a lot of cooldowns being used out of this RMP after that bad opener. The priest does get deep frozen sheep, the shadow priest that is. He does use his trinket as well, so kind of pretty good exchange going back and forth here. Looks like they might just want to go right onto the shaman. Beautiful grounding totem there, gets the entire shatter. And the rogue, Lelo, is sheeped off, but is broken by a cone of cold, so he's going to be out of that. Nice kidney onto Avina, breaking up that damage. There was a fear coming in, but there was no stun to deny the tremor totem, so Sean was able to get that off.
And once again, he grounded an entire shatter, and he's going to get away. I think. Actually, Flyn's back on him right now, and this full kidney, yeah. Down to 50%. He does shrink at that kidney, gets away. As Lelo opens on Flyn, so
yeah, Lelo
he does actually trinket and vanish, so they're going to keep this pressure up, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like they just want to kind of go all in on the shaman. I mean, it worked out for them last game. I feel like their opener isn't as good this time, though, considering the opposite rogue got sapped. But a triple fear there, no tremor down. That's a pretty big deal. There now he gets out of that. He gets a tremor down, but there's a defreeze into a blind on Shadow Priest. He cannot get out of that. So it's up to Lelo to really get some good peels here on Avina. He does trinket a sheep to get that peel, but there's a mind control coming out. Sean's able to tremor that, and now he is into a full sheep, which is broken, unfortunately. But it looks like he's re-sheeped, and that is broken again, but they're going to be putting damage into Lelo, trying to swap it up, going to this rogue, and the Shadow Priest just sitting in so much CC and getting burned. The Priest is now getting burns onto the Shaman. Look at his mana, 2,000, and he's just still going for more burns. 4,000 mana on the Shadow Priest. The Mage is pretty as well, but I believe he still has his mana gem, so he should be fine. Another beautiful triple fear by damage and heal, and he's just getting more and more burns. Shaman has 0 mana right now, so as long as they don't let him drink, things are not looking good for this Rogue Priest Shaman.
I don't think they'll let him drink this time. It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, he's still going for more and more burns, even though Shaman's at 100 mana. So he's had another burn. He's literally just hit 0 mana there for a second. The Shaman is behind the pillar. Are they going to let him drink here? I guess we'll see. He's letting him get the full tide. Here comes the Marmalade now. He's trying to ice lance that beautiful he NS Hex to deny the mana tide getting killed, but it dies anyway. He just gave it 2,000 mana back. He is getting pretty far away. And look at Marmalade's mana, 400 mana. The Shadow Priest had 6 mana right there, though. Everyone's Zoom. The Mage is going to get an Evo off here, so he should be fine. Lelo taking a lot of damage. The Shaman's going to have to stand up and heal him. Shadow Priest's going to have to disperse there, to kind of an offensive disperse to get back into the fight. And Lelo is so much trouble, 10% HP, catches a shield, but the Shaman has nothing for him. He's at 500 mana. He got burned again. He drops that tremor down, puts up his water shield, but 300 mana, you just can't do much. And the Shadow Priest is into a full sheep, so Lelo could be in a lot of trouble here, and you can see his disc priest is just chasing him, throwing down more and more burns. And 10% HP on Lelo, he does go down.
Gonna try to keep track of Sail at the same time. Seems like Flyn's just gonna sit back and wait for Lelo to come back and try to get a sap. You might see him where they're standing very close to each other, and Lelo gets a sap off on the mage. Shrink gets a sap and Novas him out and puts him in the deep. They're gonna do so much damage to Lelo right there. Still in that deep. He does actually sap the priest and starts to go for the shaman, I think. He is gonna sap that shaman. They're gonna go hard on Lelo here. Possibly, yeah. They're gonna go hard on Lelo. He's in a Nova, he's gonna get cheap shot. Flyn is probably gonna dance on him. He's actually mutilate spec right now, he's not dance anymore, so they're gonna do a lot of damage to this rogue. He does actually blind Flyn, which gets trinketed. And he gets vanish sheep shotted, so Flyn's gonna be peeled off here. He's not gonna be able to do much. He's gonna sit in this kid, and it seems like Lelo's gonna try to run away. Flint's not gonna have an easy time getting back here because he doesn't have Shadow Step. He's gonna have to run back. He does put a blind on Lelo, and they're gonna go straight hard on the Shaman right now. He does have a trinket, so he's not gonna be in that much trouble right now. And they do disarm Flynn, so he's not gonna be able to get that kidney off just yet. And he does get the kidney off, and he does get trinketed, so Shaman doesn't have a trinket anymore. And Lelo is actually gonna go straight on this priest here to maybe stop the burns, maybe stop the healing. We'll see. You just trinket the kidney shot, or maybe even trinket the sheep shot, I'm not sure. So there's another sheep shot onto damage, and he's gonna have to PS himself to keep himself alive right here. And he used the Desperate Prey and the Penance to stay alive. It should be finer, he shouldn't be in too much trouble. And Flynn is still sitting on this Shaman, trying to keep the pressure up. And damage deal actually fears both the rogue and the priest off him, so it's not gonna be in any trouble right here. And Flint's gonna swap back to Lelo to stop the pressure from the priest, as he feels he can't kill that Shaman on his own. Lelo actually managed to evasion that kidney shot. It's not gonna be put in that kidney shot. And the Shaman is just putting a frost shock on the rogue, trying to keep him slow, but it gets the spell instantly by the priest, so it's gonna get back to his target. They're gonna try to stick on Lelo, who does have Urge Steal up and shouldn't be in that much trouble right there. Shaman is gonna be able to heal. It's 40 yards max range, all kind of CC, but it's pretty close to the mage. Priest gets put into full volley, so he won't be able to shield or dispel. And Flynn is actually taking a lot of damage here from Lelo. But his priest in a pretty good position, so we should be able to keep him alive fairly easy. And Lelo actually goes down. Wow, that was a quick kill. Jesus Christ.